This week we have a chaotic full moon in Aquarius, and we have Jupiter, planet of expansion, challenging Saturn, planet of restriction. All of this, an empowered moment and more in my new intuitive energy forecast for the week of Monday, August 19th through Sunday, August 25th, 2024. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger from Sacred Soul Empowerment, here to do your weekly intuitive energy forecast. And for this week, we're going to be using the Tarot of Dreams by Sarah Marchetti for the main message for everyone. Your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from The Secrets of the Ancestors Oracle deck, and this is by Abiola Abrams. So there's a lot going on this week, but before we get into that and before we even look at your stones of choice, let's go ahead and settle in and do an empowered moment. So take a deep breath, close your eyes, relax your body, and clear your mind of all thoughts. And focus on golden white light of unconditional love, guidance, healing, and protection, showering down all around you. And as you're seeing or sensing or feeling or just knowing that you're surrounded in this beautiful golden white light of the universe, I want you to breathe that in deeply into every cell of your body. And as you exhale, letting go of all that your body, mind, and soul no longer needs. And focus this week on key words of freedom and liberation. This week we have a full moon in the sign of the water bearer, the sign of Aquarius, that rules liberation and freedom, that rules independence, that rules authenticity and beating to the beat of your own drum. Aquarius deals with the future, especially the future of humanity and the collective. So as you're focusing on all of these energies that Aquarius rules, I want you to think of, what is your future vision? What would you like to see for the future? And that can be either for the collective of humanity or for yourself on a personal level. What is your future vision? See it clearly in your mind. Feel the emotions that you want to feel. And take in a deep breath, breathing in that vision, that feeling into every cell of your body. But this time as you exhale, I want you to blow it out with your breath with force and blow it out to the universe. Send it out to the higher realms where it can be made manifest. And one more deep, healing, cleansing, balancing breath. And when you're ready, and in your own time, you can open your eyes, return to this time and place and space. Let's get ready to look at our stones of choice for the special message card a little bit later. These are all special intention pendants. And the first one here is black tourmaline. A nice little piece of black tourmaline. It's wrapped in gold wire. It's Reiki charged with the vibration of Master number 22, which is the number of proper use of power on the earthly plane. It also has the qualities of Pluto, planet of transformation and transmuting your own shadow side and lower vibrational energies. The element of earth for restoring harmony to the root chakra and being grounded, and the energies of Archangel Michael, Archangel of protection and the removal of all lower vibrational energies and negative attachments. All right, and pendant number 2 here is beautiful red calcite. I love this particular pendant with how it's shaped. It almost reminds me of, like, I don't know, a feather. And so the red calcite is wrapped in gold wire, and it's Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 1, the number of confidence, motivation, and willpower, and the number 4, number of being grounded, good in business, and manifestation. The qualities of the sign of Capricorn, sign of having good energetic boundaries, and the ability to steadily move towards one's goals. The element earth for practicality, logic, and focus, and Archangel Michael, again, Archangel of protection, who provides assistance in removing blocks to our life purpose. And then our last stone of choice is dragon's blood. You can see it's a green stone with little red blotches or splotches on it, and the dragon's blood jasper is wrapped in gold wire and Reiki infused with the qualities of the number 9, the number to open the heart chakra to universal love and dissolve all fears of the past. It's also infused with the number 8, number of courage, inner strength, and standing in one's personal power and truth. The sign of Libra to bring balance to the masculine and feminine energies within oneself. Activation and balancing of all of the chakras, activation of the Kundalini energy, and again, the energies of Archangel Michael, which I didn't even realize when I picked these 3 stones that they all had Archangel Michael, for protection, releasing of lower energies, and moving forward on your destiny path. And it also has the connection to the mythical realm of the dragon energies, and we are in the year of the dragon. So again, our stones of choice are the black tourmaline, the red calcite, and the dragon's blood. So we'll let you think about that for that special message card a little bit later. Let's talk about the astrology, because there is a lot going on this week, and we start out right on Monday the 19th with a lot of energy. First, we're going to have Venus, planet of love, relationships, money and finances, in discerning, detail-oriented Virgo. But she's going to be challenging Jupiter, planet of expansion and higher understanding or higher learning, in the sign of Gemini. Now, this happens very early on Monday, so if you're watching this video early, you're probably feeling this on Sunday as well. Now, Venus being in Virgo, Virgo is a mutable sign, which means it's not grounded, it's changeable, it's vacillating. Jupiter's in Gemini. Gemini is also a mutable sign. So again, this vacillation energy, this feeling of no focus or no groundedness happening. And this is a challenging aspect. So right away, we've got a lot of things going on within the details we're trying to function in everyday life with. We have a lot going on, perhaps in relationships, perhaps in finances, perhaps in your sense of self-worth, perhaps in your values. And Jupiter is coming in saying there's something to learn here. We want to look at things from a higher perspective, a more grand perspective. Now, Jupiter does rule abundance, prosperity, and blessings, yes, but this is a challenging aspect. So we're going to look at the expansive qualities of Jupiter. Jupiter likes to make everything bigger. And Venus and Virgo sometimes can be a little perfectionistic, a little critical, and a little judgmental. So Jupiter maybe expands some of this energy. And again, with all the mutable energy, it's a little bit all over the place, where we're up and down and back and forth. And so just be prepared for that. Now, Venus moves on to oppose Saturn after that. So basically in the same day, we're having this influence as well. And again, with Venus ruling partnerships and ruling finances, and it's opposing Saturn, which is the ruler of karmic lessons, limitation, restrictions. And again, yes, Saturn's positive side is about manifestation and focus and grounding. But because this is on the heels of that challenge to Jupiter, Venus and Jupiter, and also the opposition can bring some difficult energies as well. This again might be this kind of mirroring effect that we've got going on with other people in our lives, where we're needing to learn some sort of karmic lesson. Now, we have a full moon also on that day. So the full moon is at 27 degrees of Aquarius, which means the moon is in Aquarius at 27 degrees. The sun is in Leo, the opposite sign, at 27 degrees. And they are both going to be challenging Uranus, the Great Awakener, who's at 27 degrees of Taurus. So it's a very tight, what we call a T-square here with this full moon. And we know that full moons kind of expand our emotions. It makes us more, kind of this capacity to be more emotionally triggered or emotionally sensitive. Now, the moon is in Aquarius, which is more of a logical, objective, detached sort of sign. But I think with that challenging square aspect to Uranus, Uranus is kind of quick, sudden, unexpected, surprises, redirections, change, freedom, liberation. So a lot going on with that Uranus and that full moon. So I feel like we're going to most likely be triggered. Again, some of the keywords for Aquarius: liberation, freedom, independence. And yes, we could say change, or what is your vision, which is why we started out that meditation in the beginning with what is your vision. Now, also to round out that day with the full moon and everything else we already talked about, is Jupiter squaring Saturn. Now, Jupiter, again, planet of blessings, abundance, and prosperity, but also the planet of expansion, the planet that can get into a little bit of chaotic trouble because of that expansive energy. It's like an all or nothing sort of energy with Jupiter. So Jupiter is again expanding whatever it touches. It's in Gemini right now, which means it's unfocused, it's ungrounded. Making decisions is difficult. Making choices between two or more things is difficult because we're kind of being pushed and pulled, or able to see all the possibilities and not really sure what might be the right thing. Now, Jupiter and Gemini again, after the full moon on Monday, is going to be in a challenging square to Saturn. Whereas Jupiter rules expansion, Saturn rules limitation. Saturn rules restriction. Saturn rules delays. Saturn rules patience. Saturn rules karmic lessons. So Jupiter wants all or nothing and wants it now, and Saturn's like, no, you have to wait. There's a delay. We have to be patient. And there's that, again, that restrictive influence. So this is a pretty big deal. Jupiter connecting with Saturn in this way is probably one of the major things, aside from that full moon, that's happening this week. Again, it's this push-pull energy. Saturn also is in a mutable, changeable, ungrounded sign, Pisces. Pisces likes to just kind of go with the flow, and Saturn wants to be grounded. Saturn wants form. Saturn wants to know exactly what's going on. And in Pisces these days, it's like we don't know exactly what's going on. And so that's a little bit difficult by itself too. But when you put those two together, I think that Monday, the day of that full moon, and maybe even Sunday before leading up, we're going to be a little bit challenged, I think. On Wednesday, the 21st, we have the sun in Leo. So the sun is our ego, it's our personality, it's our self-expression, it's how we're shining our light. Right now, it's in its home sign of Leo, so it's really shining its light big and bright. Now, on Wednesday, the sun in Leo connects with Neptune in Pisces in what we call an inconjunct aspect, which is a difficult aspect again. It's hard to kind of merge and meld the two elements that these planets are in, because the sun is in fire, which is inspirational and creative and expressive and vibrant. And Neptune is in water, Pisces. And water is, again, flowing and emotional and intuitive and kind of self-reflective. So, it's hard to shine your light when you're being called to be self-reflective. It's difficult to kind of just really put forth that sense of passionate leadership with Leo when Neptune in Pisces says, oh, you just gotta go with the flow and kind of be in the background and surrender and allow things to just take shape and unfold as they will. So again, we can make that work together in a better way. We just have to adjust, again, our perspective and how we're using those energies. On Thursday, the 22nd, the sun moves out of Leo and into Virgo for the next month until September 22nd. So now the sun in Virgo is shining its light through discernment, details, work, service, health, just really taking things step by step and being practical about it. Also on Thursday, right after the sun moves into Virgo, it's going to make an inconjunct to Pluto. So again, we have that difficult inconjunct where we're trying to merge the elements, and the sun now is in Earth sign Virgo. So we have Earth, practical, grounded, taking care of details of everyday life kind of energy, and Pluto is in air. Pluto is still in Aquarius right now, and the air is all about thoughts, ideas, perceptions, everything that's going on in the mind, kind of this intangible air energy of our visions and what we're kind of creating with our mind. Now, the sun in conjunct Pluto can bring some sort of transformation energies. And so it might be transformation of how we're thinking or how we're perceiving or how we're believing or how we're logically looking at the steps that we have to take. And Pluto saying, okay, we have to go through this death and rebirth and we have to transform something, transmute something, rise above something. Also on Thursday, the 22nd, we're back to Venus in Virgo, and she's now in a challenging aspect to Mars in Gemini. So this is the lovers, Venus and Mars, challenging one another, both in mutable, changeable, ungrounded signs. So with Venus and Virgo, again, she can be a little bit perfectionistic. With Mars, planet of energy, action, forward movement, the masculine energy. In Gemini, he's a little bit all over the place. Mars wants to move forward, but in Gemini, he's not sure which way to go, or he's going in many different directions at once. And it can just be a lot of chaotic energies when we have these mutable signs. And there's been a lot of challenging aspects between planets so far this week in mutable signs. So just be prepared to maybe not feel as grounded as you liked or as focused, or just being unsure or uncertain, and just really having to trust your inner gut and do what you can to stay grounded or become grounded. So again, this might be some difficulties in relationships, difficulties in finances, difficulties in making decisions or choices, difficulties in just moving forward. On Friday the 23rd, we have Mercury, planet of the mind, ruler of the mental realm, in Leo, expressive, creative Leo, in a positive aspect to Chiron, the wounded healer. And Chiron is in Aries right now. Also on that day, and I'll come back and tell you what I think this is all about, but also on that day, we have another Chiron aspect. It's Venus, planet of love, relationships, money, and finances, still in Virgo, and she's in an inconjunct to Chiron. So there is an opportunity here for some healing to go on, healing of our thoughts, healing of our ideas, healing of our perceptions, healing maybe within our relationships, healing within our sense of self-value or self-worth, maybe even healing in financial matters. One thing I would say is with like finances, or even with things that you have to do to move forward, make a list. Either make a list of things you have to do, or make a list of pros and cons about this versus that, because Virgo likes lists, because to look at something tangible, she's able to better discern what might be in her best interest. And then on Saturday the 24th, again, I'm going to mention two aspects here and then tell you what I think it's all about. Mercury in Leo, so again, the ruler of the mental realm in Leo, is in a positive sextile to Mars in Gemini, planet of energy, action, and forward movement. And Mars in Gemini is also in a positive sextile to Chiron, the healer of past life wounds. So again, there's opportunities here to have maybe better communication than maybe we did earlier in the week, to be able to either communicate with somebody else or to even just communicate with ourselves. Maybe we're journaling, maybe we're writing, maybe we're contemplating and just trying to sort things out in our mind. But there's definitely opportunities for healing here, opportunities for creative self-expression through speaking, teaching, writing. So that's all that's going on astrologically. Now we have a lot of cards here too, so let's kind of try to move through them a little bit quicker than normal. All right, so our first card, actually the first of the first two cards, is the Ace of Wands. Now, this is interesting because with a full moon, right? We start out Monday with the full moon in Aquarius, and full moons are about completions and endings, releasing, letting go, and healing. We usually see the aces come in when we have a new moon. So to see the Ace of Wands starting out the week is interesting, right? But this is the beginning of new creativity, the beginning of new self-expression, the beginning of new leadership, the beginning of something new on a spiritual level. You know, it's very activating. The aces, the Ace of Fire in particular, the Ace of Fire, Ace of Wands in particular, is an activating card. There's something being initiated, something being activated. And it could be a situation or a circumstance being activated, but it could also be an energy of confidence or courage or leadership or take charge ability within yourself. Now, this particular Ace of Wands, right? We've got some kind of ancient lizard, gecko, something here. So to me, this is just an indication of something ancient, right? We could say that something ancient within us is being activated. Past life gifts, talents, and abilities are being activated, or our sense of power or empowerment, which can be from ancient other lifetimes, right? Or something deep within our core, within our soul, is being activated. This confidence, this courage, this light, this passion. And here we have a volcano in the background, right? So there's something rumbling here. There's something, you know, the volcano is kind of, I don't want to say exploding. What do you say? It's kind of, you know, activated, right? This volcano is being activated. So again, we've got some ancient primal energy that's being activated, and it's powerful energy because volcanoes are powerful symbols, right? So let's see what comes out with this card to give us more information. Couldn't get a more powerful card probably, but this is Major Arcana 16. This is the Tower card. In this deck, it's ruled by Mars. And again, Mars is the activator. Mars is the planet of action and forward movement. Mars is the masculine energy. We've got a little lightning bolt coming out of Mars here. And so the Tower can represent situations in our life, circumstances, our health, our career, our job, home, family, relationships. Usually with the Tower, the lightning bolt hits the Tower and things start to crumble. Things start to come tumbling down. And although this Tower doesn't look like it's tumbling down, we have the first sign of something happening here with that lightning bolt. Now, it's interesting that it comes on the heels of the Ace of Wands with the volcano, right? So again, something deep is being activated. Something primal or ancient is being activated. And Mars is coming in as the warrior. Mars is the warrior, getting ready to like activate some big shift. Usually the Tower card brings some big external shift in our life. And we do have that full moon in Aquarius. And I know that it's not that double Capricorn full moon that we had. And I know we're not to the eclipses yet, but that's coming soon. But because of the very powerful planetary aspects that are surrounding this full moon in Aquarius, I think that this is the beginning of a big shift, a big redirection, a big change that's coming. But I feel like even though it might be challenging as it's happening, I feel like it's leading us to something good. It's leading us to this new beginning. It's leading us to this new expression of our light, our passion, our courage, our confidence, and our leadership. It's leading to the activation of our power and empowerment. So it remains to be seen for each of you personally what this Tower is going to be all about. But kind of welcome it in a way if you can, knowing that it's bringing something new, something powerful for you in your life. All right, now the next set of 2 cards, let's look at the first one of those. We've got the 5 of Swords. In this deck, the 5 of Swords is ruled by Venus, planet of love and relationships, as well as money and finances and our values and how we value ourselves. In objective, detached Aquarius. The Suit of Swords is about communication, thoughts, ideas, perceptions. So I feel like we are wanting to be more liberated and independent. Again, keywords for Aquarius: independence, liberation, freedom, maybe within relationships. This could be within financial matters as well. But I feel like we're needing to have maybe some objective, detached from emotions or emotional triggers communication. So maybe wait a couple of days after that full moon has subsided if you need to have a conversation and a communication with somebody. Because typically the 5 of Swords can bring a little bit of chaos and confusion anyway. It's a little bit all over the place with that 5 of Swords. It can bring frustrations or disagreements, especially in the area of communication with other people in our lives. This could be also, if it doesn't play out with other people, just that within ourselves we're feeling detached from the emotions of our surroundings, or we're feeling objective about what changes we're going through, which actually could be a good thing. Again, we could feel a little bit scattered in a way, although the image on this particular 5 of Swords doesn't appear that way. He appears very grounded. He appears very self-assured. It's almost like no nonsense communication, right? That's what I feel like. There's no nonsense communication, and it's not emotional at all. It's just very mental and objective. Let's look at the card that came out with that. Okay, it's another Swords. It's the 8 of Swords, and the 8 of Swords in this deck is ruled by Jupiter. So there we got Jupiter in Gemini, which is actually where Jupiter is right now. So again, Jupiter is expanding this energy of Gemini, which is mutable, changeable, ungrounded. Jupiter is about higher learning and higher understanding, and we're trying to wrap our mind around something or a lot of somethings, because again, Gemini is the sign of the twin, so there's a lot going on. So maybe we're just trying to make sense of something, but maybe not having very good luck with that. Now look at the image. Again, it's almost like we've got this full moon here in the background, right? And we've got this person that's very exposed. They're not wearing any clothes, and they're the pointer of the swords is kind of connecting to their body, right? So it's almost like what do I want to say? Feeling a little hurt, feeling a little raw, feeling a little exposed, feeling a little sensitive, right? I feel like, and she looks like almost like she's trying to get out. You know, she's got her hands up here on what looked like the image of the moon, saying, okay, you know, I don't know if I can deal with much more here. Now, the number 8 in numerology does deal with disempowerment versus empowerment, or taking back your power. The number 8 also deals with career, money, finances, and being empowered on your destiny path. So if you're in a circumstance or situation where you're feeling disempowered and maybe it has nothing to do with anybody else, and maybe it's just within yourself. But if you're feeling disempowered and you're feeling raw and sensitive and exposed and hurt by something that's going on, again, what's the higher wisdom of this? Jupiter wants us to look at what's the higher understanding, higher perspective, and the higher wisdom. And again, it looks like it's really wrapped up with our thoughts, our perceptions, and communications with other people. But these are both kind of some challenging energies here. So stay as centered as you can, sort of like this person here that looks very centered and calm. And if you need to communicate a truth, try to muster up kindness, because the Suit of Swords can be very direct and blunt. And although it's good to be truthful, authentic, and direct, perhaps, and if we have to set a boundary, but also sometimes in the delivery of the communication, it can lead to more challenge. And so think about how you're going to phrase or say something before you say it. The last two cards. Okay, the last two cards. The first one is the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is ruled by Saturn, planet of karma, limitation, restriction, in Sagittarius, which is a sign of freedom, expansion. So is your freedom being limited or restricted? Is your expansion energy being limited or restricted? Is your happy-go-lucky optimism, which is Sagittarius, being restricted or limited? What are the karmic lessons surrounding these circumstances and situations? Now, this person looks like they're very distraught, like they can't take one more thing, right? They got 10 wands on their back, basically, and they can't take one more thing. The good news about the 10 of Wands here is that this is the last of the minor arcana, and then we move on to the court card. So whatever it is that you have been dealing with or are dealing with, you're at the end. You're almost at the end of this. Pretty soon you'll be able to move on from it, release it, let it go. This burden, that's what the Ten of Wands is usually about, is feeling burdened, feeling like you're carrying a heavy burden. There's a heavy energy around you. You're doing too much, carrying too much, and you just want it to be kind of done and over. So let's lift Saturn from this energy of expansion, right? Let's learn whatever the lesson that Saturn's trying to teach us is, so we can be liberated and creative and inspired and free. So let's look at the card that came out with that. And we've got Major Arcana 12, Hanging Man. Okay, so Hanging Man here is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is the planet of surrender. Neptune is the ruler of the spiritual realm. Neptune does rule our connection with our higher self, our angels and guides. So surrender to what's going on and know that you're getting to the end of whatever it is, and you're going to make it out to the other side. Listen to your angels and guides, or God, or spirit, or creator. Listen to those messages of guidance. Right? Now, Hanging Man, or the Hanged Man here, is upside down. So this is always about looking at things from a different perspective, a higher perspective, because it's Neptune. What's the highest spiritual perspective of what's going on in my life? Why is this happening? What am I supposed to be learning? And what is the next thing I can do in order to learn this, release it, let it go, surrender to what comes next, trust what comes next, because Neptune is about trust and faith. But again, we need to look at what is the reason why this is happening, or why I feel like this, or why I'm going through whatever it is, right? It could be situational, it could be something internal, but flip yourself upside down here, right? And figure out what the viewpoint is, what the different perspective is all about here. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the special message card depending on your stone of choice. So that first stone of choice was the black tourmaline. So special message for the black tourmaline people for this week of the full moon. You know what? Okay, there's two of them in my hands. Oh boy, you guys got good ones here. So we've got the Fool, Major Arcana. Well, this isn't really a tarot deck. It's actually a divination deck, but it has the major arcanas in it. So we've got the Fool, which is taking a leap of faith, taking a risk, just kind of jumping head first, knowing that you're going to land on your own 2 feet. You're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. And it's sort of like a new beginning too, because it's the first of the major arcana. And then you got the High Priestess. So the Fool, Boo-Boo the Fool, that's funny, says possibilities and potentials. So there's possibilities and potentials. Just have faith, have trust, take that risk, take that leap of faith. And the High Priestess is intuition and knowingness. So listen to your intuition and knowingness. What is your intuition telling you? What are you feeling is the best thing to do? You know, what is the leap? Where are you leaping to? So listen to that with the High Priestess here. Just this is kind of like connecting to your higher soul self and listening to your higher soul self. So these are 2 very wonderful and powerful cards that black tourmaline people have. All right. So I feel like I need to pull 2 for everybody, right? We've got lots of cards going on. The next stone was the red calcite. So special message for red calcite people for the week. Red calcite people. Okay, this one's calling me, so I'm going to just put it down for a minute because we're going to look for the second one. Okay, you know what? This one here is like calling. All right, so let's look at what you guys got, red calcite people. We've got the altar of fire, and you know what's cool about that? The altar of fire is like the Ace of Wands, folks. So we had this in the reading for the collective. You have it. Also, it says good juju. Okay. So again, you've got this inspiration, creative, passion, leadership, confidence, courage, energy, this good juju that's activating blessings in your life. So this is the activation of blessings. You can see this person's holding a branch and it's got, you know, the birds and the tree and the I don't know, the sun. I mean, it's got all kinds of wonderful, good juju there. So something positive is being activated. Maybe it's your confidence and courage and passion and creativity. Maybe that's what's being activated. Let's see what card came out with that for you. And it's the root of air. Now, the root cards are like the pages in the traditional tarot. So this is like the page of air, the page of swords, and it says explore. So as far as this activation, you need to explore a lot of various possibilities. Just go out there and communicate, network, explore, right? The pages are messenger cards. So it's messages from the universe coming in, messages from your angels and guides, messages from your higher soul self, messages from real people. So phone calls, text messages, emails, going to networking meetings. You know, the root of air is, again, all about this communication. Now, there's a woman and a man here. They both have swords in their hands like they're fighting, but they're not even facing one another. So whatever it is, it's petty stuff there, right? But they're both holding that sword like, I'm going to tackle this. I'm going to make it happen. And with that altar of fire, it's like you're, again, activating this fiery, passionate energy, creative energy, confidence energy, and you're just tackling whatever stands in your way. Any obstacle, any challenge, no way. I'm going to, kind of swing my sword and get rid of it. And this might be a message of calling in Archangel Michael with his sword of light to cut the cords, release the cords, right? Cut all away all the obstacles that are standing in your way. All right, that last stone of choice was the dragon's blood. Let's see what dragon's blood people get. Special message for the week for the dragon's blood people. All right, this one's the number 1, dragon's blood. That's the second card. This one here is calling my attention. So the first one here, oh, you got High Priestess too, you guys. So this is great. The High Priestess, intuition and knowingness. Again, tuning into your higher self. A lot of times the High Priestess is about tuning into or receiving like messages or activations, gifts from your Akashic records, from other lifetimes, other places, other events, just really embodying that energy. We've got almost like an Egyptian goddess here, right? So she's a very powerful, divine, feminine energy. I also think of the High Priestess is both feminine and masculine because she's got that take charge sort of energy about her as well, but it's highly feminine energy here. We even have the crescent moon. So maybe some days after the full moon, this would go into next week by the time we get to the crescent moon. So maybe you're listening to the intuition and the knowingness, and there's even sort of like a door kind of behind her, kind of like a gateway behind her. So maybe before you step through the new door, step through the gateway, you're going to kind of listen, maybe journal, meditate, maybe for a good week and a half, to figure out what you're getting intuitively. But let's see what card came out with this. So this is the Mother of Water. This is like the Queen of Cups. And this deck says emotional self-care. So these are both feminine cards. A lot of feminine energy here, right? With the Mother of Water, the Queen of Cups. You're going to be in your loving, nurturing, unconditional love, unconditional compassion, unconditional forgiveness, intuitive, flowing, caring for, caretaking energy. But it does say emotional self-care. So you want to take care of yourself. Listen to your intuition. Slow down if you must. Make certain decisions or choices based on that intuition and take care of yourself. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in to this a little bit extra long reading. I send you all lots of love and light and many, many blessings until we meet up with each other next week. Namaste.